Great. Let's start off with talking about the foundation before we even talk about your book, which you have out recently. So, Education Hope Foundation, it was established to with the view to educate the less privileged against privileged Zambians at all cost, and creating a platform for all stakeholders in society. So, why was it important that you do this? Starting 2018 was when you came up with this foundation.
Well, this has been a long passion. Right the time I was in school, this is something that I've always wanted. There were some things that I could notice while I was at school, some of the system that I couldn't agree with. And then growing up, now in 2018, I made a decision to say, okay, call on the people that we could partner with, and then we founded Education Hope Foundation. So the main purpose of bringing in Education Hope Foundation is to ensure that we support education, both in correctional facilities and in public schools. Because as you know, education is a driving force for the nation. And then it is important to support education right from the grassroots. And if you support the grassroots, it means even once the foundation is strong, it means the building will be stronger.
How does it work with supporting education in correctional facilities? How do you go about that?
What we do first before we go to fully support them, we go to do some research first. We go there and then we try to find out what they are going through. Okay, in terms of education, we look at the findings, the recommendations that we have to do. Then once we look at the loopholes that are there, then we go in and support their education. But what we normally do is that we advocate for quality education in correctional facilities. We ensure that we advocate for how the delivery of education is done. How are they learning in correctional facilities, which is very important. Many people, they ask, okay, why have you chosen to support correctional education? Because these people are in prison, and then they don't deserve that education that you are talking about. But look at this. What is important is public safety. Once an inmate is supported in terms of education, correctional education, which brings rehabilitation and then transformation, it means that the society is going to be safe. Without that education, reintegration, yes, will be easier. Because without that part of reintegration, it means you are going to have someone come out of prison who's very vicious, who's very frustrated with life, who has no hope. So now, education brings in hope for them, and then they'll be looking forward to something that they can do once they are reintegrated into society.
How is education then done in these correctional facilities?
It is not easy because of the facilities, but then there are instructors who go about to deliver this education, but it's not that easy because of the general condition that is there.
Now, looking at, do they have blackboards? You know, how is the subject matter being delivered to the students?
Each facility has got its own different aspect. What I can say is that the way the education is delivered at one facility will be different from the other. So the facilities are different. Others are more modern. Others are still not okay. Others, they even learn in libraries. Others even in corridors. So the general overview is not okay, really, but they do learn. There are blackboards there, there are chalks are there, there are little resources there.
Okay. Now, there's different states in which schools are in. With EHF, how far have you gone as a foundation in helping out different schools, especially these community schools, with whatever, maybe more books in libraries? How far do you go with helping out, especially community schools?
Community schools, okay. With community schools, what we did is we started with public schools, like this month end, probably, or next month, which is November. We will be making a donation by New Mtendere Secondary School, where we will assist about 70 pupils who are going to receive books each. And then after that, we will now pick as management which community school that we are going to go for.
Oh. Okay. Now, with being in the communities, how or is EHF helping those that are living with disabilities, of course, in these communities where they are also less privileged? Yeah.
That program is in the pipeline,
Okay.
especially with disabilities. One of the objectives that we have as EHF is to ensure that the right to education is included under the Bill of Rights, and then to sensitize, and then to defend that right to education. So that program is in the pipeline. We will work with organizations like NAKES, where Mr. Aaron Chansa is the executive director. So all those programs we have put in place.